Good morning, boys and girls. It's Monday, April 13th. It's the start of a new week, and this week the theme is weather. So Miss Lori and I are going to be doing some things about weather this week. So we hope that you enjoy, and I'll be reading a book today, and the name of it is Spring for Sophie, written by Yale Werber. When will spring be here? Sophie asked her mom. Spring comes slowly. Her mom told her, "How will I know when spring is coming? The first way to tell if spring is coming is to listen for it. When you hear the birds start to sing their songs to each other, that's when you'll know spring is coming." That's what spring sounds like. Sophie's looking out the window. So Sophie listened. You see the birdie in the birdhouse? The birdhouse is yellow, and the bird's blue. She listened in the mornings when she played with her sister in the snow. And she listened in the evenings when she helped her dad collect wood for the fire. At first, she couldn't hear anything, except for how quiet the world was, which was when it was covered in snow. But one day, as she walked with her mom to get the mail, she heard the first chirps. Wow. Every day she heard more and more. First the chickadees, and then the mourning doves, and the robins. That's a bluebird, and that's a chickadee, and she's looking out the window. And there's another bird. They're hanging out. Do you notice that the trees do not have any leaves on them? Because it's not spring yet. It's still winter. Soon they could hear all kinds of the birds calling to each other, announcing that spring was coming. Oh, there's a cardinal. That's Miss Jessie's favorite bird. And Miss Lori's also. But outside it was still snowy and cold. How will I know when spring is getting here? Closer, Sophie asked. You'll have to use your feet, her dad said. Whenever you start to feel the ground go softer and muddy, that's when you'll know spring is coming. Even closer. That's what spring feels like. Okay. Wow! Look at Sophie playing in the snow. That's really cool. We missed snow this year. Hopefully we get some snow next year. That would be nice. So Sophie paid extra attention to her feet. So she was on the log, and she was dancing, and she was ice skating. She was upside down, and she was up in the air, and she was on a snow mountain. Pretty cool, right? When she walked in the woods with her dad, the ground was still slippery and hard, as she had to hold her dad's hand. When she walked shadow with her mom, everything still felt icy. But then one day, the ground felt softer than before, and the snow was getting slushier, and pretty soon the boots started sinking into the ground instead of slipping on top of it. And she's walking through the fields. Sophie felt spring was getting closer, finally. But it's still not spring, Sophie said. And as she sighed when she had to put on her hat and her gloves to go outside, how will I know when spring is really here? See? She's getting dressed to go outside. I hope you all could see this. Well, Sophie, you'll have to use your eyes and nose to tell if spring is here, when her mom said. You'll have to watch and wait until you see it. The snow will start to melt, and you will have to wait until the air begins to smell like earth and rain. That's when you'll know spring is here. That's what spring looks and smells like. So Sophie watched. She just hung out. She's still waiting with the snow all over the ground, and the trees still don't have any leaves on them. So she watched as the ice melted off the lake. See? And as the snow turned to puddles in her yard. Look, it looks like the snow's starting to melt. She watched as flowers pushed up from under the ground and showed their stems. Oh, look at this. The flowers are starting to come up. You see the ground? See the green? Those are flowers. And she watched as new moss covered the rocks in the woods. Moss covers the rocks. It's a green color. It doesn't do anything. It just kind of makes the rock look a little pretty. She saw the world turn from white. See that? It's all white. To green. Yay! It looks like spring is coming. We have the trees and they're turning green, which means that the leaves are coming out. And she gets to hang out outside now, without her hat and without her gloves. And then one day, after the snow had melted, Sophie smelled the air. She quickly put on her rain boots and raincoat and ran outside. Sophie looked up at the sky as the rain started to fall. Sophie, what are you doing? She heard her dad call. See her? Let's come out. There's a raincoat, yellow, and she's got red rain boots. And she's coming outside. And the trees are starting to bud, which means that they're starting to get leaves on them, or even flowers. Sophie stuck out her tongue to catch the raindrops. Now I know spring is here, she called, because this is what spring tastes like. Well, my boys and girls, there she goes. She's hanging out. Well, this is very good for today because, yes, spring is here, and it's raining outside, and it smells like rain, and that's going to help all the flowers and all the grass and everything grow, and the trees get leaves, and the trees get flowers, and it becomes beautiful outside. So I just want to say thank you for listening to me read this book. Like I said, spring for Sophie, and have a great day. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye, my friends.